Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome everyone to this wonderful webinar. And this webinar, as we all know, is themed Changing Ocean. What should we change? And this webinar is promising to be great because of the kind of speakers that will be speaking with us and sharing their ideas about the ocean world. So just be attentive, have your jotter, have your pen, and be ready to get the best. So the program has started, yeah, as scheduled to start by 4 o'clock. So before we start, the first item on the program is just the convener speech. So the convener will love to speak with us and address us about this webinar particularly. So I use this medium to welcome Mr. Adidewe Abiodun, the General Secretary of ECC FUTA, to come on board and address every one of us.
Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, the moderator. So my name is, on behalf of our partners, the Millennium Fellowship, the Environmental Conservation Club, FUTA, and the Aqualworld, I welcome everyone to this great event tagged Changing Ocean and What Should We Change? The table is set. I am ready, and I believe our panelists are also ready. The program will be great. Just calm down. Just stay calm. Be with your writing materials. Of course, I'm with mine already. You can see here. I'm with mine already. I'm also here to learn. And the main purpose of this event is to raise awareness and also equip people with knowledge and skills on how they can save the ocean. And beyond this event, or beyond the certificate of participation that you're going to get the required knowledge and skills. I would love to speak a little bit about my own journey in this field. My journey started when I took one of the UNCC course, titled Climate Change from Learning to Action. I will send so if you're on the group, I'll send the link. There are many courses offered by the UNCC, United Nations CCC Learn, Climate Change Learn, something like that. So in the course, I learned a lot about how the climate system works, how climate change affects virtually everything, how to take action. But one of the major things I learned was that the most overlooked indicators are in the ocean, and it has received relatively little attention. Since then, providing solutions to some of the issues facing it has been my goal. So far in this field, I and a friend have gotten an award, international award and recognition, published articles, and so on. But everything can be traced back to the knowledge gained from the course. The main thing I want to bring out from this story is that you should try and be attentive, and don't take this event for granted. Don't take this event for granted. And of course, because you are here to also gain knowledge. And perhaps you are doubting, I don't need this. Perhaps you are in maybe mechanical engineering, or you're not in the ocean related field, you're not in marine science, or you're not in meteorology as I am. But you can also take action. You can also take action to save the ocean. I would love to share my story also here. I and a group of 6 persons are currently working on a project. And the main goal of the project is to locate areas offshore suitable for wind energy in Africa. And we plan to develop a website to visualize and navigate the areas for any company or organization interested in such projects. Among us, we have 2 data analysts, a researcher, 2 developers, and a project coordinator, which means no field is left when we talk about climate or ocean action. Everyone has a part to play. I'm very sure you're going to be inspired today by our speakers. Thank you. Over to the moderator.
Yeah, thank you very much for that wonderful speech, the convener of this program. So we are set for the program. As we all know, there will be a certificate at the end of this program, but certificate will only be for people who can just stay to the end. But as the convener said, far from the certificate, you are just here to learn and unlearn and relearn from our keynote speakers and see how we can address the issue of the ocean world. So to start with now, I will start now by introducing the first speaker. And I'd like to read the citation to every one of us, and in order to check out the waves he has made in this field of oceanography and how he has made impact in this field. So before he comes on board, I would love to read his citation. So the name of our first speaker is Ronald Prince Oblembo. So he's a graduate researcher at Scripps Institutions of Oceanography, University of California, Santiago. He's part of NASA SWOT science team working on coastal flood
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry that I'm not able to join you live because I will be going on a research cruise today, so I'll be at sea all day. So I won't be able to join the meeting live. So I'm making this presentation so that uh, the organizer will be able to share it with you and also learn. This is my little contribution to the topic we have to discuss today. First of all, I want to appreciate the organizer for giving this opportunity. I will be talking on the ocean and its significance in the world, like the role it plays in our climate system, and also the resources and what its uses, its general uses. So, okay. So talking about the ocean, so a general overview of some interesting facts about the ocean is that it's cover 70% of the earth, and over 50% of primary production. What I mean by primary production, I'm talking about like production of food is carried out in the ocean, and 90% of organisms we have on earth live in the ocean. Organism, plants, animal, different species, like it support large ecosystem biodiversity. They are in the ocean. In fact, a lot of species that is yet to be identified also in the ocean. Then it also serves as a reservoir for carbon sink, because since the evolution of the industrial era, carbon dioxide has been emitted into the atmosphere through the burning of fossil fuel, and the ocean has been like are able to absorb 80% by 80% of this carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through what's called like carbon sequestration. So the carbon dioxide dissolved in the ocean, then form carbonic acid, and some organisms in the ocean, like some organisms that build shell, so they use the carbon dioxide to build their shells and the likes. Most of them sink down to the ocean floor to form carbonic rock, different type of rock like limestone and the rest. Then 50 to 80% of oxygen comes from the ocean, because you can see 90% of living organisms in the ocean, and most of all these living organisms, they are photosynthetic in nature. So they produce organic, they use sunlight and carbon and water, carbon to produce organic molecule and give oxygen as a byproduct. So these are the byproducts. The oxygen is what animals, other non-photosynthetic organisms use for respiration and to carry out normal biological metabolic reaction. So if the ocean in general, we have one ocean in general, but due to the different location, we have all these oceans. So we have three major oceans, which is the Atlantic Ocean. Here, then we have the Indian Ocean, then we have the Pacific. So for the Pacific is the deepest of the ocean. In the three oceans, the Pacific is the deepest. So the deepest region is called the Mariana Trench. Is a little bit above 11,000 meters depth in terms of depth. Then we have the Atlantic. Then to the north, it's called the North Atlantic. To the south, it's called the South Atlantic. So we also have the North Pacific, then South Pacific. Then down here is the Southern Ocean. So here is the Antarctica, then here is the Arctic, where we have ice. So in this map, because I'll be referring to a lot of maps and trying to explain some of the role the ocean play in our Earth system. So you can see equator. Equator is a 0-degree equator. So this around this region. So any region from the tropical of Cancer to the tropic of Capricorn, this between here is called the tropical region. So from 30 degree north to 30 degree south, within 30 degree north and 30 Lisa is called the tropical region. So any like Africa, most part of Africa is within the tropic, South America, then a little bit of North America, which is from Mexico down to um, around this like in Chile. So then Africa in general, the part of Indian and other Asian country, we are all in the tropics. So the sunlight, because the earth is like a sphere, so you can go around the sun. So the sunlight, the intensity of the sunlight, it tends to be more higher within the 30 north and 30 south of the equator. So region in this area receive a lot of amount of sunlight. So this region is generally warmer than the Arctic and the Atlantic, because this area, the sunlight does not get to this area. So this region is made of ice because the temperature here is so cool. So ice is able to form, and also in the Antarctic. So going further, why the ocean is so important. One is that it regulates the earth system. So what we have that in the earth, the equator is the one receiving, is the part of the earth receiving direct sunlight from this receiving direct sunlight. So region around the equator heat up because they become warmer. Then those heat is being transferred to other regions of the world. Because if all the heat from the sun stay at the equatorial region, which is the tropic will be so hot that it will lead to a lot of other natural disasters like drought and the rest. So what the ocean do is that it balance this system. So it take heat from the tropic, then take it to the pole, which is deep. We have two poles. We have the North Pole, which is around this region. Then we have the Arctic Ocean. Then we have the Antarctic. We have the South Pole, which is around the Antarctica. So, like generally, this area is very cold, and the Antarctic and the Arctic is made of ice. So the white patches we are seeing is ice. So this is Greenland, made of ice. This part of Canada, and this Iceland, Norway, Russia. So at Alaska, part of US, all this area are very cold because the sunlight does not get to this region. So the way the ocean works is that if the ocean in the equator, they receive sunlight. So the sunlight pass through the Earth atmosphere, then get to the Earth surface. So as it get to the Earth surface, because the ocean is so big, and also have what is called high capacity, meaning it's able to absorb high amount of heat without releasing it at like kind of warming up. So what happens that once the sunlight get to the Earth surface, the land receives some but reflect it back. But the ocean absorb everything without warming up. So it's only the surface that evaporation takes place within the surface, because continuous heating of the surface, there will be, because of the changes in heat, there will be heat flushes. So the ocean will evaporate, restore some of the heat back to the atmosphere. But majority of this heat is being absorbed in the ocean. It's not releasing everything out into the atmosphere. That's why from the industrial era up to now, the ocean will be able to absorb over 80% of the heat in the atmosphere. So the heat coming from the sun, the ocean will be able to absorb 80% of that heat. That's one of the major reasons why the earth is still habitable, because I wish this heat, if the ocean is not absorbing this, the global temperature would have been very hot, and I don't see whether like there will still be human being existing if this heat should be in the atmosphere. So what happens that once the temperature, once the equator receive heat from the sun, then the ocean around the equator, in the tropic, in the around Africa, South America, then the part of the Indian Ocean, and Pacific Ocean, it warm up. So once it warm up, because warmer water is less dense than cold water. Warm water is less dense than cold water. So what happens is the warm water will flow on top the cold water, because the average depth of the world ocean is between 4,000 to 6,000 meters. So that's the average depth. So the surface we have in the tropic, the surface temperature, water temperature is kind of high. So once it receives the heat from the atmosphere, the water flow down towards the pole, which is the North Pole. So this is the Atlantic Ocean. So this warm water is being heated up here. So the ocean carry this water. We call it ocean current. There are different types of ocean current, but in generally, what happens is that it carries this hot water from the tropic down to the pole. So as it is moving this warm water to the pole, what happens is this: as the warm water is getting towards polar region, it begins to cool off due to convection. So it releases the heat into the atmosphere. So the overlying atmosphere in this region gets kind of warmer. So in the tropic, because of the evaporation coming from the ocean, the heat going back to the atmosphere, and the influxes of heat, the tropic region tend to be much warmer, because the ocean is releasing some of this heat in terms of evaporation, latent heat, sensible heat, that just tends to classify the type of heat being released by the ocean. So it warmed this region. So it warmed the Africa region, it warmed the North Africa, West Africa region, then also South America, then Asia, Indian, and the like. So it kind of warmed up this region. So as the water moved to the north, it cooled. Then once the water begins to cool, it becomes more dense. So the cold water is more dense than than warm water. So once it gets to this Iceland, so once it gets to this region closer to Iceland, it sinks, meaning before it gets to here, it has released all the heat. So it's now very cool. So it sinks and cool. It sinks to greater depth, and that water flow back, because this blue is like surface water, which is the cold, dense water. That is the blue moving. So the water flow back to the Atlantic. There's some going to the Indian Ocean. Like I said earlier, part of the Indian Ocean is also the equator. So once water gets to this region, the water will heat back, because we get warmer, then we heat and go back and flow back to the North Pole to get cooler. So as the water is coming from the north going to the south, it get more cold, because this region is pretty cold, because no sunlight and heat gets to this region. So it cool, and when it gets to the Pacific Ocean, there's what we call upwelling. So due to the difference in the warm water and the cold water, so this cold water kind of come up again. So once it gets to the Pacific, the cold water come up, then gets warm again, and flow back to the North Atlantic Ocean, where it will also condense, go part of the ocean, they flow. So this is what is driving the climate system across the globe. So from water to move from this North Atlantic down to the Pacific, it takes about 1,000 years for this cycle to complete. So that's why they are talking about climate change. Like the ocean has been absorbing a lot of heat. So that's why you won't see like the changes instantly, because it do take time for the ocean to kind of circulate around the globe. And that is how the ocean kind of play a role in terms of moderating the earth climate and the rest. So what we have is this. So for example, if they are talking about sea level rise, ice melting, is that this circle, for example, this area is made up of ice, but under that ice we have ocean water because ice is less dense than the ocean water, so it tends to be on top of ocean water, but under it we have ice. So when they are talking about sea level rise, ice melting, is that this warm water going to the north. If the more hotter the water gets, like if there's like high difference between this temperature here and the one in the Arctic, it tend to melt this ice because meaning more it's taking more heat from the tropic down to the equator, so down to the pole, and this will melt the ice and bring it back as cold water. So if it's bringing more water down to the other part of the world, and for example, it's taking more water from this region, taking it back. Definitely, places like Africa, India will be experiencing flooding. There will be more flooding around this region, around this South America, Africa, Indian. So there will be flooding because if it's taking more water, bringing more water from the Arctic, this water, this is ocean covered with ice. So if we melting this ice and breaking it down to the Southern Ocean, we call this area Southern Ocean, for this Northern Ocean. So if you bring it back to the Southern Ocean, definitely countries within this region will be experiencing flooding, and some countries will be experiencing droughts. So it just depends on the balance. Then the ocean also like provide supply living resources. A lot of people depend on the ocean for their protein, like consume a lot of fish and other seafood. So people also use it for biotechnology to produce medicinal, like medicinal industry use it, the earth industry use it, cosmetic, like they use the organism and the plant to produce oils and different medicine for curing different diseases. So the ocean also provide non-living resources, which is something like we have the crude oil, the sand. Now that the world is trying to diversify its energy resources, to more attention is being focused on trying to harness the energy from the ocean, because the wave, the tide, all these activity, all these processes going on in the ocean can be converted to energy. So a lot of companies are investing in the wind farm, which is like a lot of wind blew over the ocean. So if you are able to convert this offshore wind, like install some turbine in it and convert it to electricity, it will go a long way, like trying to cut fossil fuel consumption. So the ocean produces a lot of all these resources that we that is of great importance to mankind. So we also provide social social service. Like people go to the beach to have fun, to relax, get inspiration. So and a lot of ecotourism industry make fortune out of this different activities taking place around the coast. And the coast also serve as an habitat for people to live in, because we have over 60% of the current world population live 100 kilometers away from the coast, meaning from the beach, between the beach and 100 kilometers, we have 60% of the world population living around this region. And ecosystem, some of the marine ecosystem like the coral reef, the salt marsh, they serve as a defense, because when we hear of coastal erosion and stuff like that, it's because the water is washing away the beaches. So, but if you have something like mangrove, coral reef, rock along your beach, it's able to like withstand the wave and kind of break it. It serves as like an absorber, so it absorbs the wave instead of it to percolate to the beach. Rather, it will be returning it back to the ocean. Like I said, some of all these organisms in the ocean, they form rock, like the shells from corals. They can use to form rock, like limestone, your chalk, something like chalk. So if all this is along the ocean, along the coastline, we're able to absorb the wave from the ocean and the tidal storm and the rest. So it also provide economic, because any country that have like a coastline, they usually make a fortune, a great revenue out of their water. But that's why some landlocked country, they are on the disadvantage end because they don't have resources from the ocean and they are not able to trade, um like in terms of maritime service. They are not able to like offer maritime service. And this maritime service, maritime industry is one of the biggest in terms of fortune company that generate a lot of revenue for the government. So 90% of the world trade take place in the ocean. So the movement of 90% of the goods between different countries and different nations take place in the ocean. And we have more than 3 billion people. I think the world is like 8 billion, and we have 3 billion people that link their livelihood to the ocean. That to show you the great importance the ocean is playing, not just in controlling our climate system or giving us food, but rather also giving people something to live with. And it also provide over 350 million jobs to people. So the ocean is really like what do I call it? Like the benefit the ocean brings is not, you can't exhaust it, because or whatever you think is kind of embedded in the ocean. If you need if it's the water we need, the food, transportation, the climate, whatever place the ocean have a role in. So everything kind of link to the ocean. So it's a very important aspect of the earth system that need to be very taken care of, because if we have a dead ocean, then that is the end of humankind, because it produces close to 80% of the oxygen we breathe in. So meaning the land produce just 20% of the oxygen, of the rest oxygen. So if 80% is gone, that because if there's a dead ocean, meaning no living organism in that ocean that will be able to photosynthesize and produce oxygen, which is the byproduct that we use for respiration. So that means human being can get oxygen, and if humans and other land animals can get oxygen, that is the end of their existence. So that is more reason why we need to be very conscious of this ecosystem, because the role it play can be quantified. So I thank you all for listening to my presentation, and I wish you all a very wonderful time, and so that you enjoy the rest. Lovely speaker that will be talking more about other aspects of the ocean and how it's changing and what we need to change. Thank you all, and have a great day.
also ask questions. Yeah. And are you ready for your one? You say speak up. Go and write that. Go and write. I don't need to do video. Yeah, I'm not a video. I'm not a video. But you did that. What is this issue? I'm not even speaking. Most of it. I know record everything fine. So let me start with my record set. Let's have a session. You're going to use this one. Do the background. And you can also, okay, you're not important. Sure. You're not going to show like my own like this. That would be fun. Well, that's all. Okay, Morgan is okay. Good enough. Shut it off. Shut it off. I'm not speaking. She could ask me. Okay, okay, okay. Wow. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, so let me use.
Silver and rest, and it will not affect the event. And the human being, because of when we take animal protein, when we take this animal, the toxic in the body of that fish will also be deposited in the human body. And the human system is very fragile. That's why we are having kind of diseases, cancer, all these medical diseases and things like that. So this is telling us that unsustainable management of the ocean, either through the physical factor, through the biological factor, or through the human factor, is affecting human beings. Not only human beings, including animals. Like recently in Bayelsa, there are a lot of animals that have been thrown because of the flood. I even read the news that the woman was beaten because the woman was beaten as a result of snakes that runs from the water to land. This is the kind of human wildlife conflict as a result of overflooding or as a result of the water getting too high and it moves down to the land surfaces. These are just some of the problems. And the other one is fish migration. When the environment is not conducive for the fish, automatically the fish will migrate to the harvest. But unfortunately, we down to the I believe because that in Nigeria, we have this water body that runs along the Nigeria, Lagos, Ogun State, that is Atlantic Ocean, and Atlantic Ocean comes from other region. So any activities of the Europeans from the Americans here and also from Europe will surely have effect on the Atlantic Ocean, even in Nigeria, here, and also in Lagos State. So this is kind of interrelationship that this happens. We have to move from one region to the other, but there's no how to think the fish try to run from Nigeria to Europe, automatically the water is not habitable. So this is the kind of is making the kind of if care not taken, most of these fiction will not be able to get there because there are some fishes that we do see, if our mother do see many years ago, but now we only see them in the book. As we are seeing, even most of these whale, shark, tortoise, some of them the endangered fish are going to extinction as a result of pollution and also human activities on the ocean. The next one is death of the fauna resources automatically is to death. When the environment is not conducive, automatically the animal will die. So we don't have to the ocean that while the other one is destruction of the weather and wind pattern. This is very important. And we are all witness of what is happening around the world now. We are talking about food insecurity, we are talking about smart agriculture. This is a result, this is as a result of our anthropogenic activities on the ocean. Because the ocean has to regulate the climate condition of an environment. When the ocean is not functioning very well, automatically we are having the kind of erratic or we are having the kind of unsustainable and drastic change in climatic condition. Like for example, I think I read a news few weeks ago in East Africa where we kind of those swans infested a particular farmland and destroy everything. I also read recently in India, I read in the news about that in India that there are a lot of birds that died as a result of heat wave. So all these things is talking about because of our activities on the ocean, this is changing the world pattern. This is changing the way we live. This is changing the kind of environment we find ourselves in. Because the amount of heat that comes on Earth is quite very and that one is very high. Unlike from years to our 1980s, 1950s, 1970s, even the 17th and 18th century. But when you look at the 20th century, there are a lot of problems. We are talking about climate change, talking about heat wave. This is a result of human activities on the ocean because we neglected our we think that we can only survive on our not knowing that the world is inundated. What we do to the ocean automatically affects our sustainability. So I have to move to I have two case studies here. As you can see, this is a case study from Nigeria. You can see the Nigeria flood. I think from that we can see that 22.5 million people need humanitarian services in Nigeria. Recently, this was by UNICEF some months ago. 22.5 million people in Nigeria need humanitarian services. It is very bad to the level that even they are now IGP.
Politely try. Time to be running up. We do.
Hello, Mr. Salami. Sorry. Yeah, so please, you can just keep, running off because we are out of time. All right. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for listening.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Salami, for this wonderful session. This session has been amazing and it has been really been fantastic from Mr. Salami's end. Talking about the ocean, talking about the uh, uh, one thing that catches my interest mostly about Mr. Salami's session is just the fact that he mentioned microplastics and bioaccumulation. These are serious, issues happening around us. So I hope this session has been wonderful and it has been really been engaging and educative. So moving on to the third speaker. So the third speaker will come on board. But before the third speaker comes on board, I would love to, read the citation to every one of us so that they can have, a grip of the waves they have made in the field of oceanography. So now, the first speaker's name is Paul Iriola, the National Geographic Explorer, founder of Aquaworld. Paul Iriola is an enthusiastic young ocean leader passionate about driving positive change to promote ocean health, conservation, and sustainability. He is the founder of Aquaworld, a youth-led organization committed to sustaining the aesthetic values of the aquatic environment through advocacy, events, projects, volunteerism, and research. Iriola's tenacity to promote healthy environments have earned him international recognition and portfolios. A youth ambassador of Health, Day Nature, and an honor of the World Ocean Day Youth Advisory Council 2021-2022. So a National Geographic Young Explorer, CYCA National Head of Project Nigeria, and a member of the United Nations Ocean Decade Global Stakeholders Forum. During this event, Mr. Everyone, so we speak on the third aspect, which is how to act as individual, government, academic institutions, and many more. So just have a wonderful listening as Mr. Paul Iviola comes on board.
You are the convener. What's the meaning of convener? Host. Let's try that.
know the person. You know the person.
Toby. Sweet Toby.
No, no, Toby.
I'm not going. Who's Ajadi? Who's Ajadi? Access to that. Take this. Some people already start only to the joint. So
We've already asked the
Yeah,
question.
because we have question.
Yeah. Okay, so I will read it out. Okay.
There's no more question. You don't see this one.
It's already the question, so they really want to answer.
We have how many years left? Almost nothing. But right now, definitely thank you very much for some of this stuff. And just tell them that we're going to stay with us. We're going to just, he said it's not way. I don't want to it's not a question.
Okay.
We have to separate to
Few words. Remember, the ocean needs you to survive. No effort is too small.
I'm listening.
Remember that 1% from 1,000 people equals 1,000%. So your little efforts matters. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul, for making justice to the topic and for really demystifying the point around oceanography. So that's just an interesting section from Mr. Paul. So moving on to the next item on the list, um, we are moving to the question and answer session, whereby we give our participants the opportunity to roll out their questions to our speakers, to Mr. Paul and Mr. Salami. So we just encourage, Mr. Paul and Mr. Salami to just wait on board for the beautiful questions our participants we love to ask them about the concepts they've explained. So, but we have, if you have any question as a participant, you can just raise up your hand like via the the link on the chat box, so you can the symbol whereby you have to an emoji whereby you can raise up your hands there, so I will see and accept you. So, but before that, you can just do that right away. We have some questions that have been rolled out even before the program that these participants are eager to ask, and I'd like to ask um, Mr. Paul to address these questions. So I will read out the question. Yes, okay. The both of you will address the question. So I will read out the questions and just share your perspective about the question. So the question goes thus. How do we begin to incorporate and sustain policies regarding ocean protection and conservation in public higher institutions of learning in Nigeria? And what roles can be played to ensure that the policy extend beyond schools and into communities and governmental institutions? So this is the question. So Mr. Paul and Mr. Salami, so we have Mr. Paul speak first to address this question, sir.
Okay, I think
Is anybody using up?
nobody.
Who has accepted?
But present, yeah. Good.
Yes,
Yes, somebody.
Hmm?
Somebody will come. You don't know somebody.
Really?
Somebody. Oh, you just, yeah, not just into the first question.
Hmm?
You just ask the second question.
That's right, they should just ask this one by one.
Exactly,
So no need
exactly.
to
Exactly. So when it's done, I just let another
Mr.
person.
Salami should just ask.
Second one. You said, I was saying like you only getting one person to address.
No, I mean, you address first.
Like I said, because of our time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Paul. So I think you have done justice to that question. So I will ask another question. I will try another question right away to Mr. Salami because of our time. So, Mr. Salami, you will be the one to address this question. So, how do the actions we intend to implement affect the common men and our daily life? So, this is the question from one participant. Say, how do the actions we intend to implement affect the common men and our daily life? So, Mr. Salami, can you just throw more light to that question?
That's it. Section minus and for us. Not okay. Minus and what? I think that's for us. So we don't pass it. This one and this one. How come is the same? Right?
What adversity and the address
Environment.
that technology. That
And this
technology.
one.
Can you stop to just simply finish me? And that's how to finish me.
Ask everybody.
How to finish me.
For technology. For technology. How much more do you have? Okay. Any of them can start plastic.
Any of the classes.
But once it's done, you can answer it. Do you have any other thing to add? For that plastic.
For that plastic.
Yeah. But you call this one for this for technology and because it knows more. And that's what he has brought it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salami, for that wonderful answer to the question. So, the participant, if you have anyone from the participants who wishes to, raise hands to ask questions, there are more chances to ask questions at this point in time. So you can just use the emoji to, raise up your hand so that we can let you in. So, Mr. Paul, you really want to address this second question. So, how do actions we intend? Okay, I think I've asked that question. So, what are the necessary technologies that can be employed to save ocean life? So, Mr. Paul, so this person is asking about the necessary technologies in order that can be deployed in order to solve this problem of oceans and save ocean life. So, Mr. Paul, you can attend to the question, sir.
If you are ready. Wow. No, it's action. This in question. This this one is for Mr. Salami.
Which one?
This one. Taking your table show.
Both of things. I really want to introduce you for both of things. So I'm not
Then after that, if once at the end of the meeting, then
I will read the questions for you. So you screenshot it on the phone.
after you know,
You screenshot it on the phone.
you wanna.
I will still
Okay, so
screenshot.
okay, we're going to introduce. You know, we don't. Okay,
Now we introduce you. Okay, yeah. When I want to introduce this,
yeah, definitely you can. But let's bro, Apple speak first. Maybe you can start about
you should speak for someone.
about the one show the PDF of the course of you.
Yeah.
So there are two organizations.
Okay. Okay, you should speak first. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul, for addressing that question. So, Mr. Salami, you help us take this question. This question comes from the chat box. So, if anyone of our participants also wishes to ask questions, you can drop it on the chat box as well. So, this question is coming from Emmanuel Isaac. He said, "My question is, what causes ice melting and how it leads to sea level rise? Also, how can the sea level Okay. So the question is, how can the sea level rise be reduced? So I think that's what it's trying to answer. So hack. So Mr. Salami, can you just help us, make justice to this question?
One, this one. This one represents it's
How
for
can
as the last question.
So,
Bro,
so this one should just
don't fall. No, don't try.
the next question. The next question.
Say this address is
So I will say this is the last question. I should say it.
yes. Yeah,
So when
but
you can get it down.
this one, I would refer to this increasing issue as regards pollution. This one is the last question. So tell me the second and the last question.
Thank you, Mr. Salami, for that intelligent answer to the question. So this the last question on this note, the last question, and the last question will be going directly to Mr. Paul. So, and the question goes first. He said, how can we solve today's increasing issue as regards plastic pollution? Like, you've mentioned about plastic pollution and some actions we can do. So he wants you to just throw more light and, a simple approach how we can solve today's issue of, plastic pollution. So, Mr. Paul, you can attend to that question, sir.
Sorry.
Finish it, eh? Yeah, yeah. No, I want to screenshot it. Let me screenshot it. So when you're making those,
Okay,
okay, let me. Is there anyone that's open? So what's the next? I'm using your phone. I'm using your phone to talk. Yeah. Here's the video. Here's the video. This is the video. Yeah, this is the video. Almost there. Yeah. Much. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for that wonderful answer. So, moving on to the next item on the list. In fact, I'd like to appreciate all our speakers for making justice to this topic. And in fact, I've even learned a lot, particularly about the topic of oceanography and some other issues that surround it. So that's just a fantastic experience from our speakers. So now the next item on the list now is speech from our partners. So our partners who supported us in this webinar and their organization. So they are doing fantastic things in their various organizations. So we love them to come up and speak with us about what they do and just a brief introduction about how they are advocating for change in their various spheres of endeavors. So the first person I would love to bring up the first organization is Aquaworld, which is led by Mr. Paul. Exactly. So Mr. Paul is the leader of Aquaworld and pushing things forward in Aquaworld. So Mr. Paul, can you just tell us about Aquaworld and what Aquaworld is doing and how they are advocating for change?
Yeah, second person.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are connected, right?
Are you connected?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
You the one speaking now. This one speaking now.
How do you need this refresh thing?
I screenshot it here. I screenshot it here.
Go to some turn the mic.
Which one do I do this? Your phone now. Yeah. Can you speak on this side? Are you hear this? You are speaking with this one. You are speaking with this one. You can.
How we know? When I'm speaking. Okay, you don't tell this.
That's my test. I tell this. You can only. You come my phone now.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul, for these wonderful things you do.
Sorry.
So thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for this wonderful introduction about Aqua World and for the things you do in Aqua World. So thank you very much. You can see you are really enthusiastic about these ocean making changes and implementations. So thank you very much. So another organization that has supported us so far in this webinar and who they give us a strong support is Environmental Conservation Club. So which the president will be giving, just a quick introduction about ECC, and his name is Michael Abidoye. So he's the president of Environmental Conservation Club. So Mr. Michael Abidoye, can you just come up and tell us about your organization?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abidu Michael. I'm happy to be here today. I want to thank the convener, Environmental.This, I do where we are working for organizing this program, and I also want to thank the moderator and also the speaker because I learned it well. So I want to talk a bit about this environmental conservation tools. Okay, so I'll start by telling you about the aim and objectives, what we do in ECC, and yeah. So ECC is an environmental conservation club other NECO. NECO is like the body of ECC, the big body. So what we do is we we create awareness among the populace about natural endorse resources that we have, and we also contribute in contribute in protecting and conserving our natural endowed resources. What we also do in ECC is that we create a forum by which can members can share ideas, projections, and pick up projects, just like how environmentalists Adewewe is doing it right now. Bring up ideas um, that can improve our environment, and also bring up solutions, awareness solutions, everything that is good for the environment. So there are some of the questions people always ask, the benefits of joining ECC and the like. Well, actually, most of us in ECC, we don't really join for benefits, but I can tell you that there are lots of benefits in ECC. In ECC, there are lots of opportunities like you gain more knowledge and you attend, more knowledge that might be useful in your careers, in your various careers, and you also just like some people always ask me that can ACC help in a way to make money? Like, yeah, yes, possible. You can make money through your environment, just like how other speakers have mentioned. Like there are a lot of ways you can even make money with environmental aspects, just like waste management program. You can do waste management program. You can organize it, you know, just like abroad and other countries. They use most countries, abroad countries and like they make a lot of money with waste management. We can also do that here in Nigeria. It's also possible. The other things we can also do is when it comes to we deal with climate change and how to mitigate and adapt. All those ideas and everything. We can work on those projects that can even win um, grants and scholarships and the likes. Yes, and we can also it helps in another way we can make money is when it comes to okay use planting. We do lots of planting of trees, planting exercises. Yeah, we do that a lot. And currently, one of the most important trees people plant and what would I call it? Um, trees that are of environmental importance are like cocoa. You understand? So planting and the cocoa you plant it also helps it brings money and it also helps in mitigating or helps in the adaptation of climate change. It trap carbon, trees that trap carbon and the like. So those are one of the things we do, and really it's really fun when you are in the midst of people that love environment, that love the environment, environmental lovers. Those people that cherish the environment and make progress, for the environment. So please, if you are interested in maybe you're an environmental lover and you're interested in contributing to your environment and doing something, you are welcome to join ECC. Anybody can join ECC. Just like how Mr. Paul said earlier, there's always a spot and always a place for everybody. No matter your occupation, your career, there's something you can do. Thank you very much, and thank you. Please take over, moderator.
Thank you very much, President ECC, for that wonderful speech from ECC. So now we are almost coming to the end of the program, and the program has been awesome. Our president, the convener, the secretary of ECC, would like to final, vote of thanks, give us the final speech, and thank everyone for being part of this program. So, the convener, Abiodun Adedewe, you can come up.
So, hi everyone. Yeah, welcome back again. So, to everyone that's contributed to the success of this program, I would say thank you. I hope I've learned a lot, and I hope everyone has also learned a lot. And to everyone that has contributed in one way or the other to the success of this program, I would say thank you. So our partners, okay. Oh, sorry. Hello, hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, hello everyone.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah. So everyone that has contributed to the success of this program, I would say thank you. So our partners, the Environmental Conservation Club, FUTA, the Aquaworld, and my Millennium Fellows, I would say thank you. A big thank you to my campus director, Ms. Omobolanle, for her contribution, suggestions, for the success of the program. Thanks to all the event planners, my president, Mr. Michael, the CCPRO, Mr. Oluwagbenga Akindeju, the moderator for today's program, Mr. Iwo Richard, our designer, our local testimony, and to our speakers, I would say, I would say thank you very much. This this event would not have been a success without you. Finally, I would say thank you to all the participants for this event. And let's make sure we make good use of what you've learned. So before we go, can we just you can share your video so I can just take a screenshot. You can share your video, on your video so I will see your face. Abby. Oh yeah. That's good, that's good. Wow. Nice video. Wow, you can on your video so I will take a call. Wow. Okay. Okay, bye bye.
So thank you
Bye,
very
thank you
much for
everyone.
being a participant in this wonderful program. So I just wish you wonderful days ahead, and good luck in our advocacy plans ahead. So thank you for being part. It's very nice to connect with every one of you. Thank you very much. So we've come to the end of the program. So the program has been awesome with every one of you. So thank you very much. You are just full of amazement. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Yeah, I done already. Yeah, definitely. So far you attended this program, you get a certificate.
So you get your certificate first.
Bye bye.
Oh, yeah. Have you angle?
Right.
Angle. Yeah. Angle. Yeah, angle. Yeah,
Okay,
Thanks
what I wanted
everyone.
to say. Okay, I can't find it. I just have to improvise.
I noticed you were just reading the
Oh,
stuff that
see,
you were saying.
yeah, this is what I wanted to say. And honestly, I was not looking for it around.
Oh,
And honestly, so I just have to.
No problem, no
oh,
problem.
thank you, though.
And I was planning on talking about the aims and objectives. Anyhow,
But it still seems like you mentioned the essential point of what you do in
I
artistic.
think, I think I.
And in fact, about that monetization, so we even motivate people.
Exactly, I just have to because people mostly ask about that. So,
Exactly.
and it's